Hey there, parents. How you doing? Welcome to week 2, chapter 1 of Your Teenager is Not Crazy. Again, my name is Daniel Meyer, and I'm just here to help you guys grow in your ability to parent your teenagers, the gift God has given us as we continue to work through these years of changes and things that we kind of figured out kind of grade school or maybe them being smaller, and now we have different challenges as parents with teenage years. This book has a lot of great information. I love the length of these chapters and how they present some ideas. They include some biblical connection and really just help us think through some things. And so I'm hoping that you're able to get a copy of the book and read along with us. But if you don't, that's okay. That's what these videos are for as well, to provide dialogue with us. One thing the chapter talks about, I drew a really nifty, complicated diagram. No, what I have here is just involvement as a parent when it comes to parenting, the things you have to do for your kids, and then I have age down here. So naturally, a infant, when they're born, you're going to have to do pretty much everything for them, okay? And I started out with this kind of default kind of green line here to show that as time goes on, our involvement happens. So, you know, when our kids are 8 years old, for example, we're not having to change diapers usually anymore. Or our kids are, you know, sleeping through the night at maybe 4 years of age, where like right when they were born, they're not sleeping through the night. You think of the other things that you've got to do for your children. You know, now maybe you've got a middle school kid and they're able to do certain things that you didn't have to do. And maybe some of you guys are maybe a little less hands-on as a parent, and maybe some of you are more involved. But usually as time goes on, there's this kind of decline with involvement and attention that we have to pay to our child to help them be just successful to make it through each day. Well, the book kind of talks about too, though, that how the teenage years can kind of be a ramp back up. And so as we've kind of gotten comfortable maybe as parents and things are decreasing, we as parents need to kind of ramp back up as we kind of give our care and help them navigate and prepare and work through these teenage years that are then the building years for continued adolescence, but then also into adult years. So I think that's a powerful aspect that the book talks about. An encouragement for us as parents that our kids aren't going to develop just in a vacuum and by accident. There's going to have to be some intentional things that we do, and as God works through us as parents, that we communicate with our children. I like in the chapter 1, it says you don't understand, and I think the first natural thing they talk about is what we like to do as parents. You know, when our kids say, you know, we don't understand them, we don't know what's going on, they want to say, hey, it's you, you'll never understand, you don't understand. And I'm here to say, I think as a youth director in my years in ministry, it's less about saying like, hey, I understand, I know how to solve this problem, I can fix this for you. It's more about affirming their feelings. So I don't know if I would ever tell a student, oh, I totally understand how you feel. I might say to, I can relate to how you feel, or I think I have felt similar to that. Another thing that is really good to say is, you know what, you're right, I'm not you. I'm not going to be able to fully understand this situation, but I'd love to try. Could you explain it more fully to me? What's really going on here? And I think that's what's most powerful with our teenagers, when they feel like they're not understood. And that's what the book points out here in on page 22. It says, you know, at every point, teens feel misunderstood. And I think that's a lot of what teenage years are about, is someone just to comfort them, affirm their feelings. You don't have to agree. I definitely don't agree with a lot of our youth's feelings, but one of my jobs, one of my opportunities, as well as you as a parent, is to affirm how they feel. The chapter continues by getting into some of the brain research, and it talks about kind of two parts of the brain, which I think are really helpful to understand. And it's the limbic system, which is really the, as it says, you know, as teenagers feels highs and lows because of the structures in your brain. It's this emotional center of the brain, this limbic system, and that's where, when your kids are making decisions and they're living and navigating life, that's unfortunately really the last place in the brain we want stuff to go to, but that's where it's going. And that is because as they continue to develop the ability to think abstractly and handle adult reasoning, it's that prefrontal cortex that is under construction. And so it's this process of dealing with them, and I've seen this before over the years, where like a youth does something and they don't even know really why they did it. And sometimes kids are trying to play coy and be ridiculous, sure. But other times, no, they didn't really mean to do something. And they don't really know why. And I think that's sometimes where the process center and things are being processed, in the limbic system opposed to that prefrontal cortex. And that's what really this brain research and this information is showing us, is that are teenagers dumb? No. But their brain is not fully developed to where it needs to be. As we kind of wrap this up, what else I think is important in this chapter is they've got two sections here. They've got a psychological 101 and then a faith 101. And they've got several bullet points of some ways that you can help during these stages of remodeling in their brain. And I really encourage you in your group time today, personally or collectively, look at the several things listed there and which one stands out to the most to you, or which is the one that you think you need to work on your ability as a parent as you work to understand with your child. And it also lists there under the Try It Today, it lists some different losses. And so like the loss of closeness or the loss of being controlled. Which one of those losses is hardest for you to deal with? A lot of great stuff here as we just kind of get this chapter going and trying to understand our children. I would say this too. You cannot give as a parent what you don't have or what you're not able to do. There's no way that this book, myself, anybody's expecting you to be this perfect parent that is well-versed in every single skill of parenting. But I think really the main goal with this series and going through this book is, can you take your parenting from here to here? And that's not going to happen on accident. It's going to happen by you evaluating where you're at in your parenting through prayer, through analysis, through reading books like this, that you can then identify areas and figure out ways and strategies. Maybe it's talking to other people, talking with your spouse, reading other books, gaining other education, so that you can grow in an area. There's no way, like I said, you'll have strengths in every area and it'll be just the wheelhouse for you. But I really want to hope and pray for you that this book could be an opportunity, this series could be an opportunity that you could be more effective. And the more effective and the more greater versed you are at being a parent, the more better you're going to be able to parent. And you're going to be able to understand your teenager. But I just really want to caution you as parents that if the goal in your family or for you is that your kid needs to understand you, that's not what we're called to do as parents. We're here to walk alongside our children, to pray for them, to encourage them, to try to make them feel supportive, encouraged. And that's an ongoing challenge, and you never really fully arrive on that. I think this keeps going for all eternity. And so I just want to pray God's blessings as you continue to grow and learn as a parent and be able to give more and be more effective, not for the sake of being effective, but to bring more glory and honor to God in how you parent. And so blessings on your week and on your time together. Thanks so much, and we'll see you back here for chapter number 2.